parts of the brain
in the world. We need a world diagram, and we need an anatomy book.
For this podcast, too. Yeah, the brain is just fascinating. Cause like for me, I work with people who have traumatic brain injuries. A lot of times for car accidents. And, it's very severe, like traumatic brain injuries, to the point where like one side of their body is physically impaired in a lot of ways. But then also, depending on what side of the brain, it can cause them to just all of a sudden lash out with anger.
Oh, I don't have that.
Yeah. No, yeah, you definitely don't have that. But no, you don't have that. But
if I'm angry, it's for a reason.
Yeah, they'll have like slurred speech and stuff like that, or just memory issues, or all of a sudden they'll talk about something that doesn't relate to anything you were talking about in the conversation. Or they'll know things, or they'll remember things that are just like trivial information, so that there's no substance to it. And again, they don't have like a filter a lot of times. They won't be able to recognize when to not have and when to have a filter when you're around other people. And they can be easily upset. So it's just interesting, like how the brain can be all of a sudden evolve to that stage from a blow to the head.
Yeah.
To where it gets transformed.
Mm-hmm. And there have been a lot of stories, because I was doing a lot of research when I started to realize what was going on about head injuries, especially to the left side.
Yeah.
There have been a lot of people who have amazing abilities in like math and science.
Yeah.
That come from that.
They come from that. Man, that's crazy. So again, part of your brain, they got. What happened in your car accident?
Okay, so I was a nursing student at the time, and so I was at school on my way home on 417, which is a highway. I don't know if you know where that is.
I've probably been on it. I just don't know.
It's a toll.
That's a toll.
It's so expensive.
417. This is when you were a nursing student? Okay. Is it at nighttime or?
No, during the day.
During the day.
5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And so what's weird is I had actually gotten in like a huge fight with my boyfriend right before I left over something, and he wanted to go with me that day to school. Oh. And I told him I don't want to spend any time with you today because you get on my nerves, so I need a break, you know? And so he would have been in the car with me and he would have died.
Yeah.
Because the 18-wheel semi hit me. I don't know if you know that, but the semi where it hit on the car, he would have been dead on impact if he would have came with me.
Wow.
So me not wanting him to come, which he took so hard, like I was like a horrible person for not wanting him to come, saved his life.
Saved his life.
Yeah. Okay, so
you're driving. Were you like were you or the semi like merging or something? Like how'd that happen?
Okay, so there's this little sport. I was driving. Okay, so I went through a toll, and about a mile after the toll, so I was only up to about 40 miles an hour because you have to stop and pay.
Right.
And so I only had got up to about 40 miles an hour, so I was like a mile from the toll, and this little sports car comes up, and I could see him out of the corner of my eye, and I thought to myself, no way he's going to try to get in front of me because there was barely any room, and that people were stopping up ahead for some reason. I think there was something going on up there, and I was in my head, I'm like, there's no way he's going to try to get in front of me. But he was coming up really fast, and there was people. There was no way he could keep going that fast, you know. So I didn't know what to do because something told me that he might try to get in front of me. But I thought, why would he do that? There's no space.
Right.
He did. Yeah. He really fast got in front of me, slammed his brake, and so because there were people braking up ahead.
Yeah.
And so I slammed my brake, overreacted. My dad's like, you overreacted, that was what happened. Yeah, I did, I overreacted. So I slammed the brake, I turned the wheel really fast to try not to hit him. And I should have just hit him. If I would have just hit him, I would have been fine.
So if you hit him head on?
No, in the back. I would have hit him.
So you were behind him, right?
I was behind him. Yeah, he had got in front of me.
If you just hit him, you would have, like slamming the brakes, you would have just hit him like that?
Yeah, I would just hit him from the back. Just a bumper to bumper.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
How fast did you think you were going?
40.
40?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it would have been not good, but it wouldn't have been horrible, you know?
So then you braked and then you turned the wheels, so you hit him on your passenger side?
No, so the car started spinning.
Oh,
because I turned the wheel so hard that my car started spinning. It spun through the median onto the other side of the highway.
Oh.
And a semi was going in the fast lane.
Oh, so it was another, okay.
Yeah, so I went from my lane going this way, the car spun to the other side of the highway.
Yes.
Yeah, and so my car stopped. My car stopped, and the last thing I remember is thinking, oh, holy shit, and I woke up a couple times for a few months actually with this image in my head, like holy shit, was this red semi coming straight for me, because the way I stopped like where we were head on, so I could see the semi coming for me at 70 miles an hour, and there was nothing I could do.
Wow.
And so I remember saying to myself, brace yourself, and then my daughter's name came to my head, and I said, Savannah. Her name was Savannah.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother thing of when I died and how I came back.
Yeah.
She was the reason that I chose. It was a choice that I chose to come back.
Yeah. You had like that instance where like, wait a second, I have another person out there that I really love and they love me that's dependent on me. And like I'm not there for them. How's that gonna affect
And her
them?
dad's not there for her, so I'm all she has, you know, and I knew that. Like,
Yeah.
because even before he left, he wasn't around.
He wasn't part of the equation that was present in Savannah's life. So you actually physically said out loud, Savannah, before you saw the car?
In my head.
On your head.
Because I knew there was nothing I could do except brace yourself, Savannah. It's like what I remember saying.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is I woke up in the ambulance. Okay, so the car flipped twice, set on fire. Semis have to carry a fire extinguisher.
Your car flipped twice after getting hit?
Yeah. And then set on fire.
After already spinning, then 70 miles per hour semi hits you, flips over twice, then semi carries set on fire, and then semi carries what? Like a extinguisher?
Yeah, they're required by law to carry a fire extinguisher. Thank God, because then the semi driver put the fire out with the fire extinguisher, and then they waited for the jaws of life. They had to use the jaws of life to get me out, because I guess from here down, my foot was hanging on by like 1 tendon, so I was bleeding out. Yeah.
Do you have like a scar?
You know, I'll show you. Sorry about my legs.
No, you're good. Also down there, I thought you were okay. I thought it was up higher.
No, well, this was cut a little bit, which is just a little thing now. And then this side,
Yeah.
and then both my knees. I'm going to work out after this. So.
Wow. So your foot was on one. So what do you have with your left foot as far as you have full sensation still? To a degree, or?
Yeah, but they fused it this last time. I got an ankle fusion because I had such bad arthritis that I couldn't do anything. I was in so much pain. I was like hell on earth in my own body. So they fused it. Now I don't have any pain.
Yeah.
But I can't move it more than like, because it's
very
stuck
limited.
together. Yeah. So Jesse and I are working on like
some mobility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I woke up in the ambulance, and I guess I had been saying Savannah's name as I was unconscious.
Like out loud?
Mm-hmm. So they sent a crew back to look for her because they thought she was in the car. So I went out with her in my head. So I was saying it unconscious, like over and over again.
Yeah.
So they sent them back to look for her because they thought she was in the car.
Yeah. Wow. In a lot of ways, like that seems like a really, like it seems like a positive in the sense like you went out in your head thinking about Savannah, and that's what kind of like that. It's like because at that point like you're unconscious, like so it's like a mini coma essentially.
Yeah.
But during that time, you just continually had your mind focusing on Savannah, and by that it's like almost sheer will, like I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna get out of this, and then like become better and have like that purpose behind it after the accident to continue to get you to strive and become better every single day so you can be there for Savannah.
Well, and I want to teach her, like, it does not matter what happens to you. Like, because people, no matter who you meet, oh, I had a bad childhood. My dad was an alcoholic. My mom ran off, whatever.
They find ways to give themselves like, excuses, which they in their head, like, this is the reason why I can't do it. And that's so why even bother?
Well, if you're adult enough to say this is why I can't, then you or this is why I am the way I am, you can change it.
Yeah.
So I want to show her, like, it's not about what's happened to you, it's about who you are. Don't ever make your life about what has happened to you, being who you are. Like, you know, my dad's an alcoholic, so I'm an alcoholic, or, you know, that was his whole thing.
Yeah. So, yeah. It doesn't have to be the case.
What are you talking about? You are you.
Yeah.
You're some of his DNA, but
really, it goes back to the mind, like the brain, where like we don't know much. We know more about the moon, like you said, in the brain, but like the brain is so powerful that it can really rewrite your future based off of no matter what other prior DNA that has a hand in involved, like making up you. It doesn't have to be the case though. Like you form your life depending on how your mindset is and what you focus on in a lot of ways.
Epigenetics.
Epigenetics.
Have you read about that at all?
No.
It's like everybody has certain code, and they only express themselves under X conditions. Right? So you have it, but it may never happen unless you have like a catalyst of some.
Yeah.
Like it's all dormant in there.
Yeah, dormant. There you go. Yeah.
I thought that's cool.
Yeah.
Epigenetics.
Yeah. So it's all like you said, dormant. It's all there, but we just need to find ways to
catalyze it.
Yeah.
Express
So
it.
so again, it goes back to like the brain. The brain's so powerful. If you focus on it, it can awaken those dormant DNA strands. Because like with spinal cord injuries, I work with people with spinal cord injuries. We have a certain machine, electrical stimulation machine, that we put right above their belly button, like a pad, and then a spot.
The TENS even?
Or
is it something like
it's
that?
similar to that. It's called a NeoVector, so it's a more like commercial grade unit.
I was in cardiology for 5 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I know a little bit about this.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot.
Yeah.
The reason I bring it up is because it acts kind of similar ways. It's stimming whoever uses it, spinal cord injury. It's stimming them, so it's trying to reawaken a connection between their brain and the dormant cells they have in their spinal cord to bring about movement. So it's similar to what we were just talking about with epigenetics. Like if you get your brain in a certain mindset and form connections with those DNA strands that haven't even been touched yet, they're dormant, and you can just like rewrite your ability, what you do in life.
Or when they say like you go like this to get the blood flow to something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. That reminded me of that for some reason.
Yeah. It's like it works. Yeah. Get the blood flow.
Yeah.
But that's awesome. As far as what you just stated with Savannah, and like I want to show her that no matter what happens in your life, you can still be
yourself.
You didn't say this, but like your own director of your movie or your play. You can. You have the opportunity and the ability to go about writing your own script for how you want to be the movie star, whatever the case may be.
It's really because I really don't even want I'm so to myself that I actually really like being by myself.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Not that I don't like people.
Yeah.
I get more, I don't know, peace. Like I feel more at peace.
Yeah.
Like I could come out into the world and
interact,
and then I want my
peace. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. No, I get it. So, you should do what works best for you and what you feel best doing.
But then again, I'm not very social. I put on Jesse's board, be more social.
Oh, the one in the entrance, like to the right.
Yeah. He's like, what do you want more of? I said, I want to be more social because I want to, because I have things to say. I want to talk to people, but I'm so because you never know where someone's at. You know, so you got to gauge where they're at and what can you talk to them about? You know, can I talk to them about things that I or can I not? And then you have to play to what they know or what they, you know what I mean?
No, I know exactly what you mean.
You have to placate to where they're at.
Yeah.
And I find that a little bit exhausting for most people, interactions with most people.
Right.
There's some people that this is cool, but there's some people that you're damn, I cannot wait till this shit is over.
That's very true. Yeah, especially given this scenario situation where it's almost all right, so I have to be with you for a little while and just listen. Okay, when's it gonna be over? Okay, done. Yeah, have a good one. See you later. Kind of thing. Yeah. So it all goes back to just being able to read people.
Yeah.
And know every interaction you have with people. Yeah, you can certainly identify certain characteristics of that person that all right, this is gonna be this kind of conversation or whatever, but still it's always interesting because people can always surprise you no matter what, because everybody has a different background, everybody has different experience, everybody has different programming they had growing up.
Programming, that's an interesting way to put it.
Yeah, that dictates how they just go about life right now. I always find that stuff fascinating.
It is fascinating.
I agree with a lot of what you said as far as interacting with people can be certainly very exhausting in a lot of ways, just because if they're not at the same level or just they're not at a level you.
I wouldn't say that. Make myself think
Yeah. Well, there's not maybe in your case you just don't want to have a certain type of conversation.